You know when you're so hungover, you get out of bed and you have to just jump back in because you're about to puke up everywhere. And then I'd arranged to meet friends afterwards in the pub, so I got back at like 11 p.m. again. And then today I've gone into work to hand over stuff because they're firing me and stuff. So I'm just like, I'm exhausted as well, but we'll do this.
Okay, sounds good. So with that, hello and welcome to Everyday Journal number. What will you journal? So this is new accent. Everyday Journal, your favorite, most deceptively named. I don't know which kind of accent would that be? Russian? I don't know. Bi-weekly legacy podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our. Actually, we don't have any new Patreons, but if you want to support the running of the show directly, you can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Guys, what have you been up to? This is not a lot of things happening right now, I feel like, and we'll touch on that in the end. Banning season is upon us in like a week or something from now, but yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. But you guys have been traveling quite a bit, right? At least Kai, you have, and I guess Callum, you also qualify as having done that.
We should go first.
Mine's very quick. So I'm just in London at the moment. I've come down to look after my parents' dog while they're away. So it's so far away from where I'm used to being. It's just like, I don't know what to do here. I've been here my whole life.
Do you still have like an Oyster card?
Yes, yeah, the Oyster cards. Actually, this is for the readers. Which one is a more stupid name? So in London, it's called an Oyster card, which I think is really stupid. But then now I'm living in Newcastle, it's called a Pop card, which I think is really dumb as well. Like, there's such
like what
silly
American
names.
Like, isn't that the American name for, like, you know, Fanta, Sprite, Coca-Cola, Pop?
Yeah.
Or like sodas?
So, yeah, but soda is like the stupidest thing, right? Because soda just means basically like a carbonated sparkling drink.
Dude, like I was on an American LGS once in Columbus, and like all they had was like a bunch of sodas. That's it. Like sugar water, basically.
I've told that story before, right? When Mark Koenig and we were trying to get like sparkling water in Manhattan. And we couldn't find it, like basically in the night, and we were walking from store to store, and like, no, I don't have sparkling water.
Yeah, we don't do this here.
The other guy actually literally asked me what is sparkling water, and was like, it goes like bzz, bzz, bzz in your mouth, and this is like, and then he shows me some stuff, and it's like sparkling water with like infused flavor, sugar, whatever.
Yeah.
And be like, no, the plain stuff.
Yeah,
and he's
that's
like,
wild,
like the expensive stuff, like, I don't know.
That's only for the rich people.
I will say that Germans, I think, are the weird ones that you're obsessed with sparkling water much more than anyone else.
I mean, how can you live without it? That's the thing.
I totally agree on this. I think like a lot of Germans when they order water in a restaurant, for example, like it's like per default it's sparkling water.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Japan, for example, like sparkling water is also pretty hard to come by because like you burp all the time, and it's pretty embarrassing for the girls and stuff. So.
I don't think I've had sparkling water in like 3 or 4 years.
What's the thing about burping all the time? Like, that's not a thing. Like, people can't you like just like not burp? Like,
right, Julian.
No, it's like, dude, it's the same with Coca-Cola. It is impossible to not burp after having a.
It's so crazy to me. I don't know, man.
It's like a package.
I'm not buying that.
No, it's kind of like a package, you know. It's like, you know, if you cast in front of tutor, you obviously get tendrils of egg, and it's the same with Coke. If you drink it, then you probably burp. 99%.
Yeah, if you're like a child and you can't control your bodily functions and stuff. I agree.
Yeah, that also applies to myself. So hey, hey.
No, anyway, so yeah, we were like running around Manhattan and literally as if we were looking for some kind of like underground drug, and like one of the store owners was like, oh yeah, there's this guy around the corner, and if you ask for it, he might have it. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is like looking for bread, right? Like the most basic kind of liquid in that regard.
Yeah, but I gotta say though, like Julian, I don't think I know another person who drinks as much sparkling water as you do. Because
I just drink sparkling water. Actually, you don't know my coworkers. Like when I drink one bottle of sparkling water, she drinks like 2. And that's the first time I ran into somebody who was like, yeah, should I get you another bottle? Oh, you're not finished yours yet. Wait, anyway.
Do you also like drink sparkling water during all tournaments?
Of course, what else?
Oh, I don't know.
What would you be drinking?
I don't know. Pumpkin juice? no idea.
It's almost as disgusting as celery juice.
I'd prefer celery juice than sparkling water.
You know what also reminds me of our first US trip in 2014. Thomas Flacek bought a big canister of what was it called? Broccoli juice.
Ooh.
And he was like, I think they call it a gallon, right? That the thing that's bigger than your head. That's like 4 liters or something. He bought a gallon of broccoli juice.
That sounds nasty and very healthy at the same time.
I like broccoli, but I don't want it to be juiced up. Or something.
We should totally do a beverage episode one day. Like,
like food and drinks. Like, help me out. Like, if I go to I don't know, these typical Japanese breakfasts you can go to at a ryokan, right? That's what they're called.
Oh yeah.
Would I get like water, or would I need to drink like hot drinks?
You would definitely not get carbonated water. Yeah.
But at least like water.
Yeah, I do. Like, yeah, it's surrounded by the ocean. You know, I bet they have plenty of water.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted salt water for breakfast.
Like,
perfect.
I don't even know. Like, I'm not a big breakfast person myself. So but I would say like most hotels in Japan like have like a Japanese breakfast option and then foreign like American option, I think. Like,
I still remember when I asked you whether people eat like sushi for breakfast, and you're like, dude, that's like having steak for breakfast.
Yeah,
and ever since I've been obsessed with the thought of like having steak for breakfast.
Gotta say though, like I had it once in my life, like steak for breakfast, and that was in Las Vegas because it literally doesn't matter what time it is. So I had
Was that when we were there in 2017?
No, that was I've been to Vegas a few times already. Not the last weekend though. There was like a lot of Magic players in Las Vegas last weekend. Like all social media platforms full of them.
And you literally went to one of those 24/7 all you can eat places, and you're like, Vegas baby, give me my steak.
Yeah, kind of like because I was told that like during the day, like you're not supposed to do stuff in Vegas. You kind of like sleep through the day, and then you wake up at like 5, 6, 7 p.m. or so, and then you start doing stuff, which is pretty accurate. It doesn't apply to Magic tournaments though.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, like nighttime Magic tournaments. Have you ever done something like that?
That'd be crazy. I've done Tokyo MTG hosted a couple of those like midnight pre-release events, which I always found very cool because you start at midnight and then you kind of stay at the store until the first train around like 5 a.m. or so. And there's like a different. It's so interesting because like it's the same set, it's the same tournament as like a daytime tournament, but it's for some reason it's like different vibes kind of. Because everyone's maybe because everyone gets drunk maybe at some point,
or it's just the weirdos that would actually stay up till and play all night. That special
like,
crowd.
It has like those how do you say, like those like LAN party vibes where you like stay up all night, to play games with your friends, that sort of stuff.
Dude, I missed that so much. That was so great.
The idea was like when a new set comes out, stores are allowed to sell it like the minute past midnight, or whatever. So it's just like, you get it first and stuff.
Oh shit, yeah.
That was it, right? Now it's kind of gone, but that was the idea.
Yeah, they were actually smart about it. Right, there was a reason why they had it. Yeah.
So basically the same idea of like when people queue up in front of, but I guess that's not a thing anymore, right? In front of Apple stores because they want to buy like the new iPhone at midnight or something. I don't think
people still do that, right? I don't know if it's iPhones.
Didn't like people like line up for the Nintendo Switch 2? I just read it in the news somewhere, but like it seemed like there were crazy queues. People just
Yeah.
There's a place I go through in town in Newcastle where there's a big fashion store and there's always huge queues outside, so they like release a new line of clothes at a certain time or something. So it happens everywhere, I think.
Yeah, I just feel like it doesn't really happen for video games anymore because now you just like you order up from Steam and you get it.
You download it.
Yeah, it's pretty
then
nice.
It's just like one guy in the middle of the night. He's like, "Hey, I'm here for the midnight release." Just like, here's your download code. Thank you
Go
very much.
home now. Piss off.
Like, bro, just buy the DVD. Can I get the Blu-ray?
Nice, dude. I can't remember who it was, but it was a YouTuber who actually released. It's Summoning Salt, right? The speedrunning YouTuber, and he actually released some of his episodes on VHS now. Can you imagine how cool that is?
That's cool. Yeah, that's old school.
I kind of wanted to do that for us, but on vinyl, right? Just like, But the problem is, like, if you listen to the audio quality of our first episodes, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like from 10, 12 years ago now, I think
it's almost like you guys did it on purpose. Like, it's so bad.
It's so incredibly bad. Like, you can't even imagine how bad it is. But then again, it's like, it's a piece of like legacy history in that regard. But yeah.
Vinyls are cool though. I still buy vinyls.
You also have a player? Like, I know a lot of people who buy them, but they don't have a vinyl player.
I do. It's quite big in metal.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just you see the artwork bigger, and it's just cooler to have a whole experience of like you sit down and listen to the music rather than just press play on a
It's more conscious,
Spotify,
right?
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Does your band like release their albums on vinyl?
Absolutely, yeah.
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 Cool.
Everyone.
Imagine back in the day, like if we as a podcast released every single episode on a vinyl.
I think our vinyl has been like released and re-released, and it's sold out for like years now. The last one, but it's been repressed like multiple times. Whereas CDs, we've still got loads from the first pressing.
Yeah, I think actually, I remember reading that's like vinyl sales have overtaken CD sales like a couple of years ago because like there's no reason to buy CDs anymore, kind of.
No, like I've got hundreds and hundreds from like buying a medal. Now they're all in a box, and records just look cooler and it's nicer to listen to.
Very much so, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What else has been going on for me? I didn't really travel anywhere. I didn't really do all that much, but if you want to join me, I'm planning on going on a pretty big Kenya trip in February with a couple of friends. So if any of you want to join me, hit me up. I guess until we get too many, like if you get over 6 or 8, we'll have to open a second car. But for now, we're sticking with one car. So hit me up. Yeah. Cool. So, Kai, we actually wanted to talk about you because you went to Austria like super randomly, right?
Dude, I just came back like an hour ago,
You literally came back an hour ago. Like a couple of hours earlier, you messaged me, okay, so I'm on the way now, like from Austria, like on the way to Berlin.
So I went from Berlin to Austria, this city called Linz. I'm not good at geographic, but like I think it's in the west part of the country, I think.
But it's still Sydney.
Yeah, but it's like still like around 8 hours by train.
How did you go by train?
I did go there by train. Yeah.
Holy shit!
So dude, I do have a driver's license, but I suck at driving like a lot.
I think I've never been in a car with you. Yeah.
See,
did you have like a Deutschland ticket or did you go by ICE?
Yeah, like the ICE. Dude,
okay.
It goes like, dude, I didn't know that it goes like 300 kilometers per hour. That's pretty decent.
What else would it do?
It's almost as fast as a plane, almost. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. If we had like something like a best of episode, we would need to clip this. Did you just say it goes almost as fast as a plane? It goes like 300 kilometers.
Isn't that how fast a plane is?
How fast do planes travel?
Dude, that would have been my guess.
Give me like a very rough estimate.
350? 400? 400, it like can't be more than 400, I think.
It's like 900 and something.
Oof, that's insane. That is
like a commercial plane.
Oof.
Okay, loving it. Okay,
but anyway, so I just came back. I went there on Thursday. No, on Friday. Yeah. So Friday morning, I woke up and I took the train and went to Austria. Arrived there around afternoon, and all this is because of the big event that happened in Linz called ALM, standing for Austrian Legacy Masters, and it was basically the Friday. It was like a warm up Friday Night Magic event, I think, and then on both Saturday and Sunday we had like a 50-player 6-round plus top 8. The winner gets an ELM qualifier slot type of event. So it was like a really nice weekend, right? It was not the biggest event by any means, but it also wasn't the smallest event. And
just before we go on, I want to say I really love the structure that's been happening more and more recently of like 2 events on Saturday and Sunday. I think I prefer that to. I mean, if this is the numbers of people you're getting, I love this idea of like not just doing a Saturday main event and then Sunday something different and stuff. I think it's really cool to have 2 events where you can try again the next day.
Yeah, because like not only can you like try out different decks, but you have another shot on Sunday, right? Because even the best decks, I don't know, like maybe you have a bad day or whatever, and the deck doesn't cooperate or whatever on Saturday, and then you have another chance on Sunday, which is pretty cool. And in fact, we had almost the same crowd on both days, which again is also not necessarily a bad thing, I think.
No, at all. I think it's cool that they stay for the whole weekend. It's great.
Right? Because you only get paired like six rounds, so you only have 6 opponents out of 50 players. So there's like actually a very low chance that you get paired against the same person twice, I think. Maybe.
Surely,
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the event. It's like the biggest legacy event in Linz, I think, and they hosted it like
in Austria, I want to say.
In Austria, yeah. And they hosted it
the biggest legacy event in the city of Linz.
So I would do it. Like the guys told me that the biggest scene is actually in Linz and not in Vienna, which I thought it was because it's the capital, but.
It's kind of funny, right? If you look at all these different countries, I think it really depends on where like people push their scenes because Legacy is relatively easy to push to get to like a certain level because there's not so much of it around, especially not at stores anymore. Because I remember like in Vienna in the, what's it called? Gosh, is it Spielewelt or something?
Oh, you mean?
It sounds like gambling.
3-for-1?
No. Like maybe that's too old school, but like before 3-for-1 was a thing. I think there's still like the Vienna Spielwelt. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm googling that right now.
Yeah, they told me there were like a couple of stores, like 2 or 3 of them.
Spielraum, yeah. They used to have like legacy tournaments and post stuff, but I don't know if they still do. So at that point, if you host a legacy tournament anywhere in the country, it could be like in the middle of nowhere, you would probably get like a decent crowd.
I think it's also like thanks to the guys from the In Response podcast because they're all there from the area.
So
but
people
like,
come there and they want to touch them.
Oh, maybe, dude. Or maybe they get touched. Yeah, or that the other way around. I don't know.
Dude, I still remember when I was a guest on their Christmas episode like a couple of years ago. That was amazing.
That was a really messed up episode. Yeah.
It was so messed up. I loved it so much. We didn't even talk about Legacy at all.
You were pretty drunk too, I think.
Yeah. That was like in the hates of COVID. I think we also did some drunk episodes back then. And yeah, I gave them a lot of shit because I felt like they weren't really prepared to have a guest on the show. It was like, wait, you're calling me on the phone right now? Is that how it works? Oh, I loved it so much. It's such a great time. So shout outs to the guys of, I was going to say 3-for-1, no, In Response.
Cool. The store, so the game store in Linz was actually called Game Store.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, dude.
That's the name?
Dude, no joke, dude. The game store is called Game Store. Dude, we really gotta like type this into Google Maps and see what happens, right? Game Store.
I'm trying to find, but I guess I'm on the Austrian Legacy website right now. Okay.
Nah, that doesn't count. Yeah. Like I don't know what happens. Like if you're listening to this, go to your smartphone and open Maps and type in Game Store and see what happens. Maybe
Game Store. I mean, honestly, like the shop in Freising is called. Oh, it's actually called Game Store.
Yeah.
I want to see that logo. It's actually games. Okay, it's like a dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and they advertised Force of Wills. That's still a big card game.
Think so.
Really?
Like in Japan, definitely. I didn't know that was a thing in Europe, but. Like One Piece is also pretty popular these days. Like I think they revamped the whole the game system because there was like another One Piece game like 10 plus years ago. Yeah, dude. Like in the end, then there's like Flesh and Blood and like there are a couple of other very decent trading card games I think out there. And I think there's like an overlap of like Magic players who also play Flesh and Blood. So
yeah, so
those two are related. Then it's like, and it's all the other ones. It feels like are related. It feels like One Piece and Force of Will or whatever, and then the Flesh and Blood is like all the people that used to go to all the GPs have gone to Flesh and Blood because that was part of the kind of allure to get into it was, hey, we're going to do a big competitive scene and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Flesh and Blood like still a big thing because I remember people also wanted to get like all the premium rare whatever cards, and then they re-released them, and some people got angry.
Yeah.
And
as far as I can tell, it's huge.
Yeah,
absolutely massive. Yeah.
Have you ever tried it?
I haven't. I brought like a starter deck once, and then I just thought I don't have the time or the want to get into another thing. Like I didn't have the want to go to more tournaments and stuff, so I thought that's not what I'm missing. So I didn't. But it looks cool. Like it's the kind of thing I would have definitely kind of gotten really into if it was a few years earlier or I was a bit younger or something. But yeah, one thing that really appeals to me is they have the way they do bans is amazing. This is a bit of a tangent here, but they apparently every time a card, or they have like a leader of the deck. Someone who plays Flesh and Blood is probably tearing the hair out of me saying this because I don't know the rules at all. But apparently you have like a leader of the deck or it's part of your archetype. And then every time that card like wins a tournament, it gets some points on it. And when a card reaches a certain point threshold, it's then banned. So you know when a card's going to get banned, and only gets banned if it is actually too good and winning too many tournaments. So if it's completely broken, it's going to get banned faster because it wins more. If it's slow and it's strong, it'll kind of rotate out instead of getting banned and stuff like that. So I think it's a really cool system.
Right.
Quite clever.
I guess by now, basically all the non-basic lands in Legacy would be banned if you use that metric.
Well, no, it's like you have a commander. Like you have a leader of a deck who is your archetype.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think again, I don't actually know how deck building works, but this is what I've been told, and it sounds really cool.
I picked Polluted Delta as my commander. Okay, next tournament I'm gonna use like.
Dude, it's so
Scalding
funny you
Tarn.
mentioned that because Gavin Verhey just like I think like yesterday on Saturday he announced a new change to the commander format. Now you can have vehicles as your commander as long as they have like a power and toughness box.
Oh, even if they're not like legendary.
Like no, they have to be legendary. They have to be legendary, but they need to be vehicles with a power and toughness box. Which I guess like all vehicles have power toughness box.
I would guess.
Yeah, I think most of if not all of them have a power and toughness box. But like, what's a good example?
Not Rufflecopter. What's it called?
Smuggler's Copter. That thing's not legendary. No, that's not legendary.
Oh, that's
right?
not
No.
legendary. Wait, there are legendary vehicles?
Yeah, I think so, dude. Like a Skyship Sovereign or whatever that thing is called, for example.
Okay.
Like, and then there are like a bunch of more of them. But yeah,
legendary clown car.
So in 2 years maybe we can have a legendary Polluted Delta, which then can be your commander.
Yeah, can like enchant.
Just what Julian's ever wanted.
That's all I wanted. Was
Honestly,
Polluted Delta in my command zone.
That would probably be broken because you would guarantee a first land drop, and then you like play a deck that can only use like one land, and there's probably like insane ways to abuse it.
Probably.
Like, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 100 card deck and only one drops, and like one swamp in your deck.
You're like, no, Tendrils of Agony is my commander.
Wow.
Like, I always have access to it. Perfect. Or honestly, like you should make it so that Mind's Sire is your commander.
I did play a cube once where any two permanents can be your two commanders. So I think mine was like
permanents.
Yeah, I think I had like it was like Guy's Cradle and Jitte or something. I don't know. Which were both
It's so random. Like Cradle was such a great pick, and then you like all of a sudden you just like
Cradle and Jitte. Like, dude, Julian, haven't you like equipped Cradle with Jitte already?
I have.
Dude, like that's like best partner commanders ever.
Yeah, probably what you had on mind, right?
Yeah,
it's fun to experiment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, you went to the game store.
So I went to the game store, and for this weekend I had my Savatarix booth, but something changed this year. And I also played all 3 main events while doing my booth. So like I only bring half of my booth with my stuff there, but I also have my own seat, and my opponent basically has to come to the table, and we play as part of the event. And it was like surprisingly smooth. Didn't have like many issues or anything. Like I confirmed with the head judges and everything. It was very, very smooth. And also like you had kind of like almost like 2 feature tables, right? Like the one that got streamed, that was like way back in the corner, so it was like kind of hard to also see from like the whole room. And then there was like my nonsense basically, and like did
you tell them that you had the cameras looking at their hands afterwards?
Yeah, dude.
I think you're supposed to tell them before the match.
Oh, okay. Fucked it up.
Yeah, because before the event, like I just paid a bunch of guys to film stuff and have their phones out.
I thought you were gonna say beat up your opponents.
Yeah. So So the deck I brought this time was, and this is like something I rarely do, but I really wanted to do it this time because I was really not that sure about how the deck's gonna perform. I brought Ad Nauseam Tendrils, one of my absolute favorite decks from all time, to this event, knowing that it's probably not the hot dog.
Shit.
Yeah, the hot shit. The hot dog. I don't know. I wanted to say, I wanted to say like top dog, but I started with
top dog and hot shit.
Yeah, but yeah. My mouth wanted to say hot shit, but I thought hot dog, so I got hot shit.
So hot dog shit.
So I brought
I mean, it looks pretty old school, except for the 2 demonic councils in there. I think you talked about the card on the last episode that you liked that quite a lot, right?
Yeah,
and 4 Mishra's Baubles to go with it. Like that's quite a lot of cards to change.
True.
It is. So like the base skeleton of this deck was like my anti deck from 2018. A lot of cards were outdated, like Dark Petition and all that sort of stuff. Went out immediately, but then like the other day I saw it on Twitter where Cyrus Common-Gill talked about the one console in combination with Mishra's Bauble. And if you look at the deck list, like you have a pretty even like balance between fetch lands that go to a graveyard, artifacts that go to a graveyard, because you have petals, LEDs, and Vicious Wobble. You have a bunch of instants, Brainstorm, all your rituals are instants, and then all your discard spells and ponders are sorceries. So you pretty much always have Delirium on your combo turn because you have probably cracked a Lotus Petal or you are about to crack an LED, and you've played a ritual or two, you've probably played a Duress Effect, and you've probably also cracked a fetch land. Yeah. So that was pretty appealing. The downside of Demonic Council, even though it's a demonic tutor, is that like it is weak to Graveyard Hate, right? And Graveyard Hate is everywhere, dude.
So Kai was like, "Yeah, let's play this deck."
Exactly. So like, I sleeved it up. I would say like Demonic Council, like what's like a little less than overperformed. Like
less than overperformed.
It was better than average, but it was
it was good.
Well.
It was a very good Magic card.
Decent. No, decent.
It was a B+.
It's B+, yeah, B+. But post side,
it's better than mid, I guess.
It's like almost A minus. It's almost like A minus in game 1, and then it's like a C+ in post sideboard games when people bring in Graveyard Hate.
So you say like when it really fails, it matters. No, when it really matters, it fails.
Yeah,
kind of.
So I guess the problem is like Ant is still like a Past in Flames deck before it's an Ad Nauseam deck, whereas most other combo decks that win with Tendrils kind of don't use the graveyard as much. They'll use Echo, right, which like surgical kind of thing doesn't really stop and stuff like that. So yeah. But you are a graveyard deck, so like something like Rest in Peace or Leyland is quite good against you, and then you're just doubling down on that.
People will like be very happy to bring in the Graveyard Hate just because they will probably have a lot of like creature removal and stuff that they can take out. So that they can easily upgrade their creature removal into at least Graveyard Hate, and now it hits even more.
Yeah,
exactly.
I could also see it being like quite easy to just like surgical an instant or a sorcery in response to it to take you off threshold, or a land or something like that, maybe.
So I got hit by Fairy Macabre once, and that was pretty disgusting because I didn't see that coming.
So you have to go get a demon.
Yeah, and dude, like no joke, I went through all the demons in Magic, and like for like potential demons maybe post sideboard I can tutor for.
It's probably like a random demon that you can like sacrifice for mana or something.
Grizzlebrand, come on.
Yeah,
cast our rituals and cast Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, so they either suck ass or they're uncastable because they cost like 1 billion mana, and Grizzlebrand is probably like the best.
You can just easily get to 8.
Yeah, just Cabal Ritual, land.
Right.
Or 2 Cabal Rituals does it with threshold, right?
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah, but then like the other day, like and then you resolve Ad Nauseam and flip Grizzlebrand. Like, no, thank you. But yeah, anyways,
I'd be celebrating.
Yeah, and I think one more thing about this deck list, because it's also not very common, is that it plays 3 copies of Daze in the main deck, and it plays a 4th copy of Daze in the sideboard.
This is so Kai, it hurts my soul.
This is like so me. And Daze did overwork. Daze was probably the best card in the deck. And that's a little sad to say because
I was gonna say that's like not a good thing to say about a combo deck.
That's not a good thing, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go through my games and stuff in a bit.
By the way, I just realized if you try to protect your Infernal Tutor with Daze after using LED, that's just like no.
That doesn't work.
Actually, that doesn't work at all.
That doesn't work.
I was gonna say that doesn't actually work.
Nope.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah. But there are cool things you can do with Daze. Like you can I don't know, like if you Daze your opponent, like you Duress your opponent during a combo turn, they go Brainstorm in response, and you can Daze and tax the Brainstorm. You pick up the land, and you haven't done a land drop yet, so then you can replay a land that counts like a Lotus Petal-ish effect, which is pretty cool.
And you still down a land, a card if you do that?
Yeah. But like the main reason why Daze is in the deck is because there is a game before Storm combo decks go off, right?
Okay.
A lot of stuff happens. The main reason for Daze was actually Thalia and Chalice of the Void, because I was so tired losing to those cards in particular.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what those cards are. Never heard of them.
Fringe playables.
Not even that.
Yeah. But like now the problem is that not only do I have to deal with Thalia and Chalice of the Void, I also have to deal with Cephalip Illusionist and like so many other cards that are so incredibly powerful in the format.
I was going to say, like, you're just a much slower combo deck than most of the other combo decks now. Like, combo is just so fast.
Yeah, and that's like the frustrating outcome of the weekend, because I have to admit, like, it's Ad Nauseam Tendrils is not the fastest deck in the format. It's like actually on
Never
the
has been.
slower half. Yeah, it's like a slowish, grindy deck, but you lack Force of Will, and that's a problem, right? If your opponent is a faster deck and you don't run Force of Will, that's a problem generally. So,
I
And
really
you
spot
just-
a pattern.
yeah.
Like for the last couple of weeks, every time we talk about the format, it always feels like, yeah, dude, I really need to run Force of Will.
We
it's
are
always
in a
been kind of
combo
like thing.
second year.
if you want to run a deck without Force of Will, like you gotta have a really good reason.
But I guess you gotta have a really good combo of your own then.
Right, or you have to be very fast, right? That's another approach. Like
But yeah, basically that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at Nauseam Tenders is like a really solid, good, strong combo deck. It's just like a little sluggish.
right. Yeah, because like if you think back like I don't know, like 7-8 years or so, like all I had to do was like don't give a shit about what my Esper Stoneblade opponent does, right? Like they cast a bunch of spells that don't matter, and then you do your thing, you dress their Force of Will, and you go
And then
off.
they flash back their lingering souls, and you're like, no,
Oh no, dude, I'm in trouble.
Not another
Shit.
grizzly bear.
What should I do?
Not a 30-turn clock.
Yeah.
Or something.
Right. So yeah, that's the big takeaway basically. The deck still functions, it's just it either has to gain speed or it has to run Force of Will, which I don't think is possible in this archetype.
Yeah,
So
like how would you even get the blue count high enough? It's like play Preordains is the start, and then Charter Course.
oh dude, yeah. It's messed up. It's messed up. Yeah. So there are a couple of question marks. Maybe I can solve the puzzle. And like the reason why I'm even doing this is because of the promo, right? Like the Eternal Weekend promo.
You really want it, right?
I want to win that promo with a Tendrils of Agony deck. That's like the ultimate end goal.
What if
Kai.
you play like, I don't know, like some random deck and then you put a Tendrils in the sideboard?
I was thinking about that too, dude. Like if you play
Of
like
course you
Moon,
did.
if you like a Moon Stompy and you have like a Tendrils in your sideboard.
And you cast it off like some treasures made from Fable for the win.
Yeah, on turn 7 with Storm 0. Nice.
But Kai, can you imagine winning Eternal Weekend with Ant? Just close your eyes. I'm gonna bait you into playing this deck for Eternal Weekend.
Oh god, dude, yeah.
What's your plan against like Blue Black Reanimator? Doesn't really sound too great for you.
Dude, I don't know. Like yeah, let's see. So for now, I'm gonna still stick to Storm decks. I think I'm gonna try out a couple of other stuff, like maybe Black Saga Storm or some other Storm archetypes, or anything Tony Scapone plays. Because yeah.
I mean, his Saga Storm list that he came second at the recent RCQ online, which we'll talk about a bit later. Like watching him play it, I watched a bit of that stream. He obviously plays it like incredible because he's so good at Storm, but it looked very powerful. Whenever he plays that one, it always looks very good to me. Like it's got such a clear, concise plan. It just does the same thing, but it does it incredibly well. I feel like any time like you have Saga in your deck as a Storm deck, I've lost to that when I've taken out removal and they just go like Saga into Mox Opal and make 2 constructs, and I lose to that all the time, honestly. And I've got like this Grafting as Cage and Leyline and Mindbreak Trap and blah blah, and it's like, well, fuck, I die.
Yeah.
So it's really strong. I think it's a really good one to try out.
Should I talk about the events?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Friday it was like the warm up event. I don't think it had 50 players, maybe like 30-ish or so. There were players from a lot of different communities.
Did you go alone or did you have other guys from Berlin join
So
you?
I went there by myself, but there were a couple of players from Berlin as well.
Oh, but
And
they
there was-
didn't want you?
Yeah, no, they took the different plane, maybe that was like 900 kilometers per hour.
You're like, they are so stupid. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that trains are just as fast as planes.
Exactly. we had some players from the Czech Republic, including Tomáš Vilček.
He was there.
It was so surprising to see him, yeah, because I didn't even think about
You
him
never
attending
think
the
about
event.
Tomáš? Oh.
No, I do think about Tomáš all the time, like every night, but I didn't think about him being like, you know,
No, he goes to
invested into
basically all
Legacy.
the...
Yeah.
He
Dude,
goes to all the tournaments in Austria, it feels like.
he had such a sweet deck. Oh my gosh. So he had an Esper. He had like an Esper mid-range deck. With like Tamios and Bowmasters and Kaidos and stuff. But like the one card that stood out the entire weekend was Caracas. So like he played Caracas to save his Tamio, to basically nullify opponent Tamios.
Yeah.
And then you can do crazy shit with Kaito too, because Kaito is a creature during your turn. right? So you can if you have Kaito in play, you can use it to put a stun counter on your opponent's creature to make it to tap it, I think, for 2 turns, and then you can bounce your Kaito with your Karakas, and then you attack with your whatever Snapcaster, Baleful Strix, or anything you have, and then you ninjutsu in Kaito, and then you get to use it, dude, and you get to use it another time, which is absurd.
This is like one of those 10 mana draw card combos. It is cool.
And Thomas shows me his deck, and then he goes like, Kai, this is control, but you get to play Wasteland, which is absurd. And it's like, dude, didn't you guys play Wasteland in Miracles 2 at some point? But I don't know.
I remember the old Landstyle decks in like 2005. People literally played Crucible of Worlds with Wasteland.
Oh, dude, that's a legit win condition. Yeah. Make your opponent scoop. But anyway, so on Friday, I made a couple of notes, and I don't think if I get like all the matchups right, like maybe I mix something up or so, because I didn't take notes on the venue. That's like all from memory. But
I guess we actually do have a lot of stuff to talk about anyway. So, but let's get into it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna go like quickly through my matchups. So I won against Moonstompy on Friday, and then against another Moonstompy with the not the Blood Moon, like the other moon that draws you a card, I think.
I was going to say Bad Moon, but that's
Bad Moon.
Bad
Moon
in my head is like the
yeah.
other moon.
It's a Blood Sun.
Blood Sun, that's the one. Yeah, like Blood Sun and shit.
The other moon, sun.
Oopsies.
You ask 100 people, name another word for yes. No.
No.
Then I lost to Blue Painter, and yeah, like that. It was pretty critical. Like I lost game 2 because I didn't see a single colored card, and I just assumed. Like I only thing I saw was like Ancient Tomb, Grindstone, Mox Opal. That's all I saw. So I just assumed they were on Red Painter. So I started out all my Duress Effects and Thoughtseize, and then it turned out they were Blue Painter, and they had like this double Force of Will and stuff. So
yeah,
so
I think that's fair to guess, because like Red Painter is still a bit more popular. So
is it?
Yeah, especially in paper, I would say.
Yeah.
Right. Then I won against Naru, so I was sitting at 3-1, and then I lost the last round to Bluebrack Reanimator, and that was like one of the most painful losses during the entire weekend, because I had it like all figured out, right? So I had a Nihil Spellbomb in play, and I had a Veil of Summer in hand, I had 2 lands, I felt very safe, right? Like they can't do their reanimate stuff, I have a Veil of Summer in hand, what can you do? And then they played fucking Engineered Explosives X1. And I had another nice spellbomb in hand. Obviously can't play it. Go to my end step. They crack the explosives. I have to crack my nice spellbomb. They go to the main phase and to reanimate. I die. So that was quite frustrating, because I thought I had it all figured out. But I didn't. So yeah, that was Friday. Hey, and then Saturday and Sunday, I think we had both like 51 players or so. The whole thing was streamed also, so I think you can definitely check it out on the Austrian Legacy League.
Did they do commentary on it?
Yeah, so the In Response guys did the whole commentary on both days. So
they didn't play, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't play. They did the commentary the entire weekend, and I think it should be somewhere on the Twitch Watts. So definitely check that out.
I just realized, because you got your special place, that means you don't get to have feature matches ever.
So I played the feature match on Friday only, because I didn't set up my booth on Friday because I was still exhausted, and I wanted to do it properly on Saturday, Sunday. So I got to play and also win on the feature match, which was cool. But yeah, Saturday. Let's go to Saturday. Okay, so I gotta go through my notes here. So I started with a loss to Blue-Black Tempo, and it was, you know how disgusting it is if your Tempo opponent plays the same Thoughtseize 3 times because of Tamio. It was not even 3 Thoughtseize. It was like the same Thoughtseize 3 times. The fuck?
Just want to like tear it up and eat it.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't use her -3 enough. Like, they kind of just race to the ultimate, which can work sometimes, but against combo, just snap off that value.
How often does the ultimate actually go off?
Pretty consistently. Yeah. It's not that bad. Like if you plan to go all in on your Tamio, actually it only takes like 3-4 turns or so.
Yeah, again, it does. It kills faster than Delver, but like these decks are built to protect her and stuff. It's all removal, counter magic, discard and stuff. So like it is good at protecting her, and then it does just win. So it's good. But again, like against a deck like Kai's with Ant or something, you might not get there, like because Kai's deck is just very good against like Force of Will and stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like every time if your opponent like aggressively upticks Tamiyo only, like I feel very nervous. But like if they down tick it, like you feel like you have a chance in the game, but like you really don't, because they because it's like they snapcast like the best spells a couple of times. So
because she'll start on 2, is it? She'll go up to 4. Is that right? Then you can minus, get something back, then you plus, and then you minus again, and then she's dead. But like, it's like 2 extra Thoughtseize there.
Exactly, and my Thoughtseizes and my Duress are terrible too, because I have to keep them in hand the whole time. Like if I Thoughtseize them, take the Force of Will, and then they minus tick the Tamiyo to get the Force of Will back. That's pretty bad value. So, and
also they just draw a Brainstorm or whatever, and then find another thing. It's the classic Storm thing. Needs to like you play the discard the turn you're going off.
Right. Maybe what I'm trying to say here is that blue-black tempo decks can grind like crazy. Yeah. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're playing a combo deck. And then I won against Cephalid Breakfast. That was cool. My show notes say that like the bluff worked out. So my opponent didn't know that I was on Storm, and all they saw was like Underground Sea, Daze, Thoughtseize, Ponders, something like that. And they had the combo, but they didn't went for Illusionist and Shuko, because they were afraid of removal or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Exactly. And then they passed the turn back to me, and then I storm killed them, which was cool.
Yeah, I guess that only works once, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't believe you're such a filthy liar, Kai.
Yeah, dude, I was a liar. The cat's out of the bag. And then I lost to Cephalid. Okay, I guess that kind of makes it even.
Justice.
The bluff didn't work out on the in the next round. I lost to Cephalid, and then I lost to Death and Taxes.
I was going to ask you, like, you mentioned earlier that, like, you also have to deal with Thalia, and I'm like, is that even a legacy card anymore?
No.
So, like, my opponent told me that the Thalia was like a 2-off. It's like,
it's so random.
It's so, I don't know what that means. Like, do you recruit her for Thalia on turn 3, or what?
I love paying 5 mana for my Thalias.
Exactly, yeah.
But guys, you do know that, like, you have to sell your collection if you lose to D&T. That's just the rules.
Dude, I'm like so short. I'm like selling my stuff. But they did a cool thing, which I haven't seen in a while, is like the Flicker Wisp on their end step to choke you on mana, right? Like they take
I love that.
your best land, right? And then you get the best land on your next end step, which is terrible if you don't have a turn anymore, right?
Yeah, so it's either like you Flicker Wisp your own Flicker Wisp, so it's for the ones coming at the end, and then you hit your land, or you just Vial at the end in your end step.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Like every time Death and Taxes has Ether Vial, I feel like their deck gets like triple as complicated and triple more fun, I think, to play.
Yeah, it goes from like a pretty good pre-constructed deck to like a deck that can actually hang. It's just like a lot of times they don't get that, even though like when you play against like the best Death and Taxes players, it feels like they get it 80% of the time.
I think there's an old joke that Death and Taxes players used to lick the back of the Aether Vial, so they'd stick to another card and they can draw it.
Dude, I remember I played in a pretty big tournament, like some card market tournament, in the first round against a guy who was like really living the Belcher lifestyle. Like he really came across as the kind of guy who just like makes his whole personality Goblin Charbelcher. And the whole deck was like non-foil and like not very interesting, but he loved Belcher so much. He got one of those from the vault foils that, that wrap really badly, and like everything else was like completely non-foil, and it was like, this can't be a thing. But I don't care enough. But I won.
Which card was that?
Goblin Charbelcher.
Oh, Charbelcher itself was curly.
Yeah. Like he basically had these 4 really curly Goblin Charbelchers in his deck, and I was like, dude, at that point I didn't really care all that much. I won, but afterwards actually I told the judges, and he got a deck check in the next round, and I don't know what they did with that. But like, I mean, I even told the guy that like he should probably play something else. He was like, no, this is like my thing. I really like Goblin Charbelcher. I'm like, yeah,
that's my thing.
But maybe get other ones. Like even the normal foils are better than like from the vault and stuff.
Yeah,
definitely. I think it's in relics or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and after that, after I got beaten by Death and Tax Sayo, I did my thing and dropped from the tournament. Because I was
that's close enough to like selling your collection.
That's my thing. The top 8 of Saturday was pretty mixed, I think. With Bernstein and Paul on Blue Black Tempo, we had Jakob Heidecker on 4-color Doomsday. I think I played against him on Sunday, and then Markus Schmidhuber on Blue Black Tempo runner-up. I don't know what that means, runner-up, but
runner-up means like he got second place. The deck is not called Blue Black Tempo runner-up.
I was like, that's a crazy deck name. Yeah, what does that even mean? Okay.
It always gets second place whenever you play.
Notes, Kai.
Yeah, I wrote them, right?
Kai would be the best kind of teacher. He would like give like handouts and everything like to the children. And they were like would read it, and Kai was like, "What the fuck is this shit? Like, who wrote this?"
Okay, Christian Neutz on Value Elves.
Shoutouts, that's Chino, right?
Yeah, shout out to Chino. I think he played 3 different elf decks on all 3 days. Because the one
man.
Yeah, because I posted like the coolest deck. If you go down the show notes, the coolest deck, and it's like the Moxfield link.
I love this.
This is the deck he played on Friday. And it's a Tendrils of Agony Storm.
Okay, yeah. So let's actually just name 2 cards. There's Tendrils of Agony and Llanowar Elves in the deck. Where do we go from here?
I was going to say Finton Elves, but
I'm so happy you didn't mention like Beast Whisperer, because that's a commander card.
Dude, Beast Whisperer is so cool though. Like when I played Value Elves, like that card was insane.
Yeah, 4-mana 2/3. Whenever you play a creature spell, draw a card. Boom.
Everybody knows that, even John Finkel.
I mean, that's Glimpse of Nature on a dude.
Yeah, I guess the whole idea, so to quickly go over the deck, is it basically plays all the core of the Elves combo deck, like Nettle Sentinel, Heritage Druid, Spiritual Rangers, Elfish Visionary, Violet Symbiotes, 4 Allosaurus Shepherds, of course, and then for Senate, for Glimpse, for Summoner's Pact. And I guess part of the idea is that you can Summoner's Pact for the one of Beast Whisperer, which is basically like Summoner's Pact for Glimpse, so you get another copy there. You might also just like get one of your Nettle Sentinels to just start the engine as a whole. Or you can even get your finisher, and I can't believe I'm saying this, which in this case is AV Progenitor Ooze, which is basically the ooze with Storm, and it gets bigger for additional oozes, and the extra copies are not legendary, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, and you can also easily pay the upkeep cost on Summoner's Pact. Like, you have trillion mana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, there's no Kraytooth, but Shepherd is just going to be lethal as well.
Oh,
Kinda.
good point. Oh, he's going to turn
I'll
all
Shepherd
your dudes sideways. Yeah.
into dinosaurs. Yeah.
No trample though.
I just want to call this deck Orcish Bowmasters doesn't exist. I'm not going to play around it. Because like, there probably isn't even a green creature you can like search for Summoner's Pact or Green Sun's Zenith to like help with it. Maybe there's one that gives your creatures +0/+1 and it like helps it a bit, but like, this deck is winning by playing Beast Whisperer.
Eladamri, Lord of Leaves. Hey, here we go. Okay, Trance of Fire with Symbiote, but still.
Is that the one that has a green mana like regenerate an elf? So you could
it actually gives Shroud, if I remember correctly.
Oh really?
I think it doesn't even pump. No, actually it was
No, it doesn't. I don't think it pumps. Doesn't it go like a Shroud Forest Walk?
Forest Walk, yeah. I was gonna say like it's a terrible. But I mean, hell yeah, you can just like pick, I don't know, like Elfish Champion or something. I guess if that's the idea, if you want to pay like 2 mana and then 4 mana to neutralize,
You're joking. I would 100% put one of these in this deck. Like, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Probably honestly, like the way to go is probably like Leyline of Vitality or something.
That's the +0/+1.
Yeah, and gain 1 life.
Yeah,
but it's also the one that's
basically looks just good to me, actually. Like, for what this deck was trying to do.
Yeah. I mean,
good
if you're
suggestion.
If you're at the point where we want to use Eladamri, then I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean
technically you can still use Elfish. You can still use Violet Symbiote because you can target itself. It only like gives Shroud to other elves, so yeah. But then you can, yeah. Dude, we're not really discussing Eladamri, Lord of Leaves here, okay? This is an elf deck with 2 copies of Tendrils of Agony in it.
Yeah,
like, don't make
that's
it worse.
fucking cool, dude. Like,
that's super cool.
Yeah, I saw 2 Tendrils, dude. I'm stoked. All right, and then we have Black White Texas Alexander Meyer. This is like the Death Texas deck I mentioned earlier. Ritter Simon on Cradle Control, who ended up being the winner of this whole thing. Tamas Kukuska playing Tron, and I think he was the best player of the weekend because I think he finished third. No, he finished first on Friday, third on Saturday, and then first again on Sunday or so. Like
Damn. What was the list like?
So it says, like, my show notes said Tron, but it was a little bit of a slower Karn.
It was not Turbotron.
It was not. No, it was. So it didn't run, dude. It didn't run Mystic Forge.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So it was like this. All Ursa's lands, like the towers, the power plants, and so on, and even what's it called? Ursa's workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
then,
a pretty good card.
Yeah, like all the keys, I think Grim Monoliths, Karns, use Kozak's Command, no Flash Rakers, I think no creatures in the entire 75. But you basically kill them with Trinispheres because you have 4 of them in your main deck, and you do ridiculous Kozak Command stuff with like your sagas that also get you the artifact that entops lands, the Candelabra, the Candlestick.
Okay, cool.
And then you microsynth ladders your opponent, and that's the deck.
Oh, and then they're locked under Trinis. I mean, they're already locked anyway under microsynth ladders. Why do you need Trinisphere for that?
I don't know. I think like you can randomly like lock people out on turn 2, which is ridiculous, right? If you get 4 mana on turn 2 with the Planar Nexus thing, Planar Nexus and Ursa's Tower.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I think I had it like on my show notes somewhere, but because I played against him on Sunday, and I had a turn 2 kill, and I had a Daze in my hand. So I was like, dude, like it literally doesn't matter what he does. Like I'm gonna kill him, right? And then he goes like second turn, Planar Nexus, to play Trinisphere and play around Daze. And I was like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
This is the legacy we live in, dude.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
So yeah, insanely powerful deck. It doesn't look like much, I gotta say, but like it's a little bit of a slower like post style, like 12 post ish. Prison big mana deck.
So do you expect this kind of deck to continue to do well, and also like maybe even an Eternal Weekend like this?
Think so. It's definitely a powerful deck, but I don't think that a lot of people will play this deck because it has a couple of cards that are not very legacy-ish, like Tron lands, for example. I like do you really want to play Ursa's power plant?
Ursa's Mine Go.
Yeah, that's the one thing, and then also like Candlestick, right? Like not many players have Candlestick.
Are there really like 4 copies of it?
I don't know, man.
Was it like a 1 for it's a saga or something?
I think it was like 1 or 2 copies or so.
Okay.
But like you always want to get it of Saga.
I would guess the rest of the deck is not that expensive, but still like investing so much money for a single card. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. Oh yeah. Oh shit. And I forgot. It plays Leyland of the Void main deck.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude. It played Leyland of the Void main deck, and Helm of Obedience was only in the sideboard, I believe, for Karn to fetch.
I guess, yeah, that's like a random kill that you got.
But this is like the ultimate, like, dude, I'm gonna stomp this metagame deck.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I've been exploring ideas for playing 4 main deck Rest in Peace with Helm at the moment in like a paint to shell with Enlightened Tutor.
Oh, that's sweet. So,
yeah,
definitely.
It's a cool idea actually. Like the metagame is that it's Graveyard Hate main deck is so good.
And I think, like, worst case, you can even hardcast, I think, the Leyland, because you have Planar Nexus, which can filter color, and then you have a single swamp, I think.
Okay, or like get Ghost Planar Nexus, or like use Candelabra to untap Planar Nexus. If you have 20 mana, then sure, like...
Right, yeah, you can do whatever you want. Dude,
I'm just sitting here and I'm listening to this, and I'm think like, this is really cool, And then, like, you take a step back, and like, I literally ask myself, is this the kind of stuff that you see winning Eternal Weekends? Like, not really, is it?
I don't know, but I think like there's always this one guy playing like a big mana deck who kind of just goes undefeated. I don't know, unchecked.
And then loses in the quarters, yeah. That's how it always works, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
The thing is, like, if you told me that I could like sign up to lose in the quarters of Eternal Weekend, I'd be down, I guess.
Cool. Me too, buddy. Me too. Yeah. And then round up the top 8, we had Murstel Daniel on Blue Black Ninjas. That was the Saturday event.
Can you say his last name again?
Murstel.
Loving that name. Like, dude, I love whenever there's like tournaments in Austria around, and they have these like super Austrian names. Murstel.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Daniel. Great name.
Yeah, also like lots of energy. Like Austrian people like to talk, laugh. They're pretty Yeah, pretty funny.
You had a good time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't understand half of what they were saying because it was like all Austrian accent, but
and you just sit there and you laugh. You're like, yeah, high five.
I don't know what you're talking about, but hey.
Dude, it gets even worse when you go to Switzerland, right?
Oh,
I guess at that point you can't even pretend that because you're not even sure whether they're like talking or just making noises.
Oh man, that's on my to-do list still. Like, I really want to go to Switzerland to play Magic like one day because I've never been to.
You gotta go to like deep Switzerland. I told you this, right? Like, the last year I was when I was kitesurfing, I was there with like a Swiss couple, and we were like as a surfing group, and we didn't know each other before, and they really tried hard to speak what we call High German right with us, and it still sounded so incredibly Swiss, but we could understand them. And you could really tell that they were trying really, really hard. And then, like at breakfast, I was coming to the table and they didn't see me, I guess. So they were talking like Swiss German among themselves. And I sat down and I was like, there's like no way in hell I could ever understand a single word of what they just said. And it's technically the same language.
Yeah, dude. It's almost like French or something else mixed to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably like I do a better job understanding some Dutch than like Swiss German, I guess. And I don't understand Dutch at all. Like,
but yeah, like like going to Austria from Germany, like it felt like moving states in the US. I think, like where like a lot of things seem kind of similar to what you're used to, but a few things aren't.
I always wonder like how different are American states really. I guess like the very far extremes, they are very different. Like certainly. Like, I don't know.
Like Texas or...
Yeah, like let's say Massachusetts and Alabama or something, right? But like all the Midwest stuff is oh, dude, we're losing so many listeners and getting so many people angry, I guess. I was going to say, when I say like, is Nebraska really all the different from Iowa? I don't know, man.
All right, everyone send me $50 and I'll give you Julian's address.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Nail bombs.
Okay, so so we had another event on Sunday. Also, like the event started at 10 a.m. So like the Swiss portion was done around like 4 p.m., which is really nice because it was probably the hottest weekend. And yeah, there were like so many other things you could do in Linz because
I was going to ask you, did you have any time to explore the city?
Of course not, because I was
going to say, what did you do after the first half hour?
Dude, I spent I was in the game store the entire weekend.
In the game store.
Did you not have a barbecue? No shrimp on the barbie?
We had I had Chinese food, pizza twice, burger once, and Austrian food once. But only because
Austrian food.
Like meat. Like steaks or no, what? Yeah, like steaks, schnitzel,
Wiener Schnitzel,
brown sauces.
The thing is, like, I could name a couple of things, but also there's like many famous German places so I don't know.
Yeah, and like desserts are ridiculous because like they put like extra sugar on everything. It seems.
Oh, dude, help me out again. Like if you go skiing and you go like you have lunch up there on the top of the mountain, and what's that sweet thing?
Kaiserschmarrn?
Yeah, Kaiserschmarrn as well, but the round ball of sugar. What's it called again?
Oh,
Germknödel.
That thing.
Something like that.
Zuckerbackerball.
Zuckerbackerball.
Apparently.
That sounds like an American sports
that's
tournament.
what Google told me.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so please rate Linz on a scale of Berlin to Munich.
Oof, dude. It like the furthest away from Berlin. Literally the furthest away from Berlin.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it was because it was all structured and like people looked like actual human beings, and yeah, it was kind of unnatural for me coming from Berlin. Where like,
why is all of this like working here? Like, what's going on?
Exactly, yeah. Because I'm coming from zombie land, and you know it's a little bit of a different culture here. Yeah, people looked very cultured. That I will say.
I mean, Berlin's also very cultured, just in like a very different way.
Right. Yeah. I played against a very cultured deck on Sunday on the first round. It was Rakdos Reanimator with Witherbloom, Apprentice, Chain of Smog, post sideboard, dude.
That is a legit pivot. Do not laugh. It's really strong.
Yeah, because I pissed my pants when I saw it because I was not prepared. Like I didn't bring in my Abrupticase for for this, right?
No, God, no. It's
No.
even if you know about it, I still struggle to like sideboard against it because it's just such a different thing than what you want against normal Reanimator. It's a brilliant pivot, I think.
Yeah. But like, fortunately, I got there in time. I think I had like insane ad nauseams, I think, in both games. And then I won against Demir Tempo, and I thought, okay, maybe I got this one.
If it's the first 2 rounds, I got this one.
So no winners report starts with that.
Exactly. and then like I got crushed by blue-red core steel cutter Tempo.
Nice. The deck is strong.
Also, I want to mention like Empty the Warrens sucks against Tamio once she's flipped, so keep that in mind.
It's actually embarrassing.
Yeah, dude, it's so bad.
Like your opponent's one-off shuts off your win condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should do a 1-drop,
Yeah.
And not one-off, 1-drop, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
then, like,
Diver, sorry, you can't win anymore.
Right. And then I lost to Cloud Post again, turn 2 Trinisphere through days. What the fuck?
Same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
Oh,
and
shit.
Then I played against 4-color Doomsday twice. I won the first one and I lost the other one. This matchup felt horrendous because they run 3 copies of Veil of Summer main deck. They can potentially combo out turn 1, and they run Force Will Days.
Yeah, and Teferi I guess Teferi doesn't matter.
Teferi doesn't. Teferi is the weakest card. Yeah.
No. I was thinking you're like Doomsday with Force Will as well. But
oh my goodness, dude! Like if they ever go if they keep Pedal open, I just cannot. Oh man, dude!
You must abruptly decay Pedal.
I let them draw so many cards of Veil of Summer. Oh, dude!
You need to be able to daze it. Basically, that's it.
Exactly. I brought in another daze, and I had to go with the combination Thoughtseize, Veil, then I dazed the Veil, and then so like you have to wait for the perfect turn where they tapped out for a cantrip or something, and then
this is the kind of matchup where you feel like you just want like a big bad demon in your deck that you can just like hardcast and be done with it. Like, nice Veil of Summer, nerd.
Oh man, dude, I was so hoping that they go for like a Doomsday pile, pass a turn with no mana up, and then I tendrils them for Storm 2.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. So overall, I finished what is this? I was 3-2 on Friday, 1 free drop on Saturday, and then a very mediocre 3-3 on Sunday. So
so slightly negative.
Yeah, slightly negative. But it was I gotta say though, like it was kind of nice to play the same deck on 3 days just to see how it performs. And now I have a very good grasp about the deck, or where it is right now in the metagame, and I can now properly move forward, right? Like making like better adjustments or changing decks and stuff like that. But like playing a deck at only one tournament doesn't really say a lot, I think.
I agree.
So
what about a Desecration Demon? Come on, like,
dude, are you still looking up demons right now?
No, I haven't actually been. It's just a cool card.
Oh, was that the
4 mana
4-drop?
6/6 flying? Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was thinking about the Abyssal Persecutor that says you can't win the game.
Dude, I was actually thinking about that card too.
You need
therapy.
Yeah. You need therapy for that.
Sick, dude. Yeah, dude, that card used to be a staple in the gate.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah. But, yeah. Anyway,
shoutouts to the gate.
Let me quickly mention the top 8 on Sunday, because it was quite different. So we had Vincent Chong Wing on TS.
Isn't he from Berlin?
Yeah. And then Tomasz Kuczak on Tron. Dude, I'm so sorry, buddy. Like, I think
Your
I
nemesis.
butchered it. Yeah, I butchered the name entirely.
No, I think the deck is called Tron Winner.
Twinner. Yeah, it's called Winnertron. winner, chicken dinner.
Well, if you call your deck winner, you're gonna win. So
yeah, dude. Thomas Wilczek on Esper Control, runner up. Alexander Meyer on Blue Black Tempo. Peter Florian on.
Wait, Alexander Meyer switched deck. He played Black White Texas the day before. The two Stadia deck.
Point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Cool.
Yeah. Peter Gärtner on Blue Black Tempo. Kevin Kara on Blue Red Steel Cutter. And then Martin Dolak on Cephalid Breakfast. Gotta say, like all Cephalid Breakfast decks were the Nadu ones.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the standard by now.
I mean, that's pretty much the standard right now. Okay. Yeah, that was the weekend. Props to the organizers. I think everyone had a really good time. And dude. And the game store is actually a nice like 3-floor store, like bunch of products, cool player area. It was a little hot, but they had like the basement too, which was a little cooler, and then the casting room. I had a lot of fun. I might go there also next year, and if you guys are looking for like a like a nice weekend trip.
Honestly, like I wouldn't hate it. Like
this might be it.
You probably passed by Passau. This is like where I studied, where I lived for 6 or 7 years or something. I don't remember.
Oh, there were also a couple players from Passau.
Oh, seriously? But I don't see any of them in the top 8.
No, well, yeah. But they told me it's like only like an hour or two.
Yeah, it's like super close.
Yeah,
dude, I haven't been back to I haven't been to Passau in 12 years now. I kind of want to go back. So just to see what's up.
Yeah.
Dude, it would be so weird, like to go back into that store where I used to play and haven't been to in such a long time. It's it's kind of funny, like where you feel like this part of your life has ended, and then when you go back to it, you're like, wait, this used to be the center of my life almost. Like, wow, and now it's not anymore. Anyway, have you ever been to Passau? Because it's amazing.
Like 20 years ago. So I don't remember shit, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's basically had like one store. Yeah,
it's basically like Regensburg, but nice.
Okay.
They have one store, yes, it's called the Fantasy Spieleladen.
Dude, like those game store names, dude, like they put it on the next level.
Thing is, like there's a legendary game store in Passau, which existed before I went there, and that one was called the Golden Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the Golden Anchor was flooded and destroyed. I mean, it's called the Golden Anchor, right? Anchors go underwater. They're supposed to go underwater. It's just like, but yeah, everybody was always talking about the Golden Anchor, and I was not able to experience that. But yeah, now it's the Fantasy Spieleladen and has been for a long time.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. By the way, I just realized, like, naming your game store is actually genius.
Is it though? It's like naming your cat.
Yeah, but there's no other competition from other cats. Whereas there, like, seriously, like, imagine there's like 5 competing game stores in Linz, and somebody comes to Linz and they put into Google Linz game store. Guess what comes up first? Certainly not the, I don't know, Spielwiese 5000.
Do you seriously think they thought about like SEO and like...
Obviously not. So, you rated Linz. Would you love to live in Linz for like a year or two? Or would it be like too boring, small?
No, I'm not Austrian enough, I think, for
You can.
Linz. I don't know, dude. Like that.
Actually, where do you feel most at home? Because I never ask you. You lived in Bavaria for a long time. You lived in Berlin for a long time. You lived in Japan for a long time. Like, where's home? Where's Kaiservatari from? Like, you run into somebody in Australia and they ask you, where are you from?
Oh, I would probably say Japan, because it's closer to Australia than Germany, and they kind of know what's up with Japan, I think, more than Germany.
Yeah, they would be like, tell me more about this mythical place called Germany. Germany?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, I think like Linz is a beautiful city. It's a little bit too clean for me, and probably not enough parties.
Spoken like a true Berliner.
Yes. I feel like Berlin and Austria is just very different places.
Yeah, dude. It's so different. Yeah. But
yeah, did you guys hear that Copenhagen has been rated the best place to live in the world and has taken over from Vienna?
Oh, not surprised at all. I thought it's more like Norway or like somewhere in Scandinavia, but like Copenhagen, dude. Like, you go to Copenhagen. I mean, it is crazy expensive, but like you look at the faces and you're like, dude, like everyone seems so happy.
Is that so? I trust you on that. I never made that connection that everybody looks so happy in Denmark. If you are from Denmark and you're listening to the podcast, let us know how happy you are right now. Like, literally right now.
On a scale of Copenhagen to Berlin.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you live in Berlin, like, if you actually want to get like permanent residency there, you have to be a little bit like grumpy and pissed off, but also nice. You know, that you have to strike the balance.
Or into crazy sex parties.
Yeah, that's
one.
basically. Yeah.
That's probably like that's like the immigration test, basically, right? Like how often have you been like on the dance floor naked? Oh, only 3 times. Okay, boom, out.
Not too many crazy sex parties in Linz, I guess. At least none that you hear of. I guess they have like the most fucked up ones.
Right. Who knows? Maybe yeah.
You know, in some farmers, I don't know, sheds behind.
Where are you going with this, Julian? Where are you going?
Yeah. Actually, no.
Should we talk about Magic on? Should we talk about Magic on Vegas? Because it's kind of like a nice transition from sex parties to Vegas.
So
talking
Berlin
about
to Linz
farmer
to Vegas.
Linz sex parties.
There must be some crazy cults in Vegas that we haven't joined yet.
Oh, I bet. It's like the playing ground for adults. So.
I mean, some of our listeners must be in some crazy cults. I mean, just like statistically speaking, I want to say.
How many listeners do you think we have? I joke.
Enough for at least one of them to be into some kind of crazy cult.
Yeah. Well,
what's the closest you guys have ever come to a cult?
Dude,
Elton, Texas? Elton, Texas is a control. Like, that's a cult. Come on, seriously.
Okay, I'm going to just say, Jamie, that was completely unscripted because he still believes there's a control deck, and that was out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, so apparently there was like a huge Legacy Cup happening in Magic. Actually, no, there was Magic Con Vegas happening and they hosted a Legacy Cup. Okay, I completely misread that. I thought that was like a huge Legacy Cup.
There was a huge Legacy Cup, and then they had these little things on the side called the Pro Tour and whatever, the command zones and stuff. But yeah, this past weekend, like, I don't know the numbers, but apparently it was like one of the biggest, maybe the biggest Magic weekend like ever in numbers and stuff.
Often people said that. I don't like. Doesn't really have any kind of meaning to me anymore.
I'm not surprised though.
I know,
like,
but I think this did.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is like by far the best settings set ever. So.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah. It's so funny. Like my best friend has nothing to do with Magic except for like we basically started together and then he played it for like one more tournament like 10 years ago. And he even knows about Final Fantasy. And like he tells me, dude, these Final Fantasy cards are amazing. And Final Fantasy here, Final Fantasy there. And like the roles have kind of reversed, right? With all this universes beyond stuff. Like all of my non-Magic friends, not all of them, but you know, some of them actually get excited for Magic. And I couldn't be less interested in these sets. I don't know, man. It's so funny.
I'm feeling similar. I had a Warhammer friend say, "Oh, are you going to the Final Fantasy pre-release or whatever?" And I was like, "I didn't know you know this, but no, neither."
Yeah, right. Like I'm even a Final Fantasy guy. I've played like I don't know, like all of the early Final Fantasies up until like 10, and even like later ones, and I don't care.
For me, I've just never played any of the games, so I don't know any of the characters or anything about it. So.
You would love Final Fantasy VI. Like Kefka would be totally up your alley as a villain. Yeah,
but I just don't like video games. So
we talked about you don't like video games and you don't like movies.
Yeah, well, I like some movies, but video games I literally have played like 5 or 10 in my life.
I want to explore. Like at some point, we're going to explore which ones you've played, because if you've played that few, either they were like just like given to you and you played them and that's it, or you're really picky. You know, you want the really good ones.
I just don't like any of them.
Interaction. I don't like interaction.
Yeah. Anyway, huge thing at Las Vegas. So there was the Pro Tour that went on this weekend as well. I watched the finals and stuff of it last night, which was kind of interesting. The top 8 was 4 blue-red prowess and 4 mono-red. So red is a good color in standard right now. So
aggressive, so fast.
Yeah.
So
but
fast.
Legacy Cup's cool. So these Magic Cons apparently like all the events sell out immediately and stuff. So this was capped at 128 players, and then I believe it sold out very quickly. But then I've got this information from thanks Max Gilmore, Max Dortion. He told me all about the event and stuff because Classic Wizards, there's no deck lists, there's no results, there's no info out there. So this is all from reporters on the ground, people that played it, stuff like that. So capped at 128 players. There was some no shows apparently, but also apparently the event had like shows 131 players, but that's probably putting people in after the no shows or something like that. So it's around 128 players, give or take. Mm-hmm. So we know the top 8 was 1 Settler Breakfast, 1 Painter, which is a red painter, 1 Nardu, 2 Moonstompy, and 3 copies of Blue Black Reanimator. Does this surprise you guys, the top 8, or it looks like what the format is a bit at the moment?
Not really. I think it has like a little bit of an overlap with like what we had in Austria too. Mm-hmm. Like the archetype speaking, right? Like breakfast.
Austria felt like there was more like
there was also like more blue black tempo in Austria and less reanimator. I would say that. Yeah. Also, like there was not a single Oops All Spells player in Austria, which was really surprising to me because the deck is so incredibly powerful right now.
I think it's like if you play Oops All Spells in paper, you really want to win. I guess.
I think so. Yeah. Like I don't really expect to see Oops until in paper until the events get very big, and then it falls into what Julian just said. Like, there's just not that many people that enjoy playing it, and like will go to an event, spend the money, and then your rounds are over so fast. It's just kind of not part of the appeal for a ton of people, and obviously some will. But I was thinking like, let's say that no bans happen between now and Eternal Weekend. Like, how much do you actually prepare for Oops? Like, you probably should respect it. But I think the online and in-person metagames are pretty different enough that I think I wouldn't go as heavy on the Graveyard Hate. It depends on Reanimator and where that is as well, but like Reanimator and Oops kind of require different Graveyard Hate as well. So
they definitely do. Like I'd like so I dedicated 5 slots against Graveyard, which is a lot more than I usually do, but it was like 2 Leyline of the Voids that was specifically for Oops, and then I had 3 Nihil spell bombs that were meant for the Reanimator deck, because you can kind of grind, and also like you don't want to go down on cards too much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you keep that Nihil spell bomb around just long enough so that they can't do anything broken, and then you're ready to go off or whatever, then you crack the spell bomb on their end step and you draw an extra card, and then you do your stuff. Feels pretty powerful to me.
I like that.
But it's not good enough for Oops all spells, right? Because it costs mana.
Costs mana. Well, 1 mana to play, and then the one-shot effects don't really beat someone's prepared with a Memory's Journey. So
yeah. I think can we agree that like the best Graveyard Hate cards against Oops are either like Leyline and also Doughty Voidwalker? Even though like the guy costs 2 mana, but like I think they have a lot of trouble.
Voidwalker is probably the best card to have in play, I think. Because their most common removal spell now is either Force of Vigor or I can't remember what it's called, but it's 1 in a green, and you destroy an artifact or enchantment. It's a sorcery, and then you can gift them like a rabbit or a card or something. I don't know. And you kill 2 things. So
gotcha.
They're usually on 4 of them. So yeah, Doughty, if you can get it to play, is fantastic. But you just don't get to play it very often because they're so fast. So yeah, Leyline Grafdigger's Cage is also very good because it does shut down the Dread of Return and stuff, but it shut down the Memory's Journey as well. So
good point.
It is good, but again, they just die to their removal spells. This is what makes the deck so good, right?
Right.
You have to play these things that are fast enough to go under them, but then they're all the same thing. So I've been starting playing a few different decks just to see if something else kind of piques my interest for ELM basically. And I was playing a bit of the mono black aggro decks because they've always seemed stronger and quite underplayed to me. And just playing a deck with Dark Ritual and Doughty Voidwalker is, I think, a really good place to be in this format.
What do you think about Gemstone Cavern?
Right, that is the end of our episode 92.
Thanks for listening.
No.
Okay, all right, I tried.
Yeah. No, I don't know. There's other ways to do it, like Lotus Petal and stuff, if you want that effect. Anyway, back to the Las Vegas thing. So we know that there was a very unfortunate 4 players were 5-0, but all double drew, and then one of them came 9th, so that's got to sting.
Oof.
Yeah, but
the thing is, like, it was. I haven't been there, and maybe those numbers are not correct or something, because the player in 9th place is like 8 percentage points behind the player in 8th place. So, you know what I mean? I mean, Callum, I know you told me, right? You don't do the tiebreaker math and everything, but like if you end up 8% behind the 8th place player,
that is a big deal.
Yeah, it's like there was probably a way to see it. But
your opponents didn't win much, so they just had a really easy 5-0, and then.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm more talking about that going into the last round, you pretty much know that you will probably be 9th place. Unless, okay, I see some people at 18 that have like terrible tiebreakers at like 51%, like 2 of them, and then there's like also a guy at 56%. So maybe the idea was that they would not win and lose, and then you'd be but even the other guys would probably have more. Anyway,
I would guess that they were 5-0 and just thought double ID was safe and didn't look at the tiebreakers.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Other bits that I know. So Painter got to the semis. This is a friend, Maxwell, who's a Uber online and stuff. Killer Painter player. He's been rocking like what he has like since Eternal Weekend last year and stuff. So he plays kind of 2 Agatha's Soul Cauldrons, but no Phyrexian Devourer, but they're just good at grindy cards and Graveyard Hate. And then a very, very standard mono red list. It's cool. No rings, Pyroghost, that kind of stuff. It's just the classics, the goblins, the painters, the blasts, the bolts and stuff.
Is that interest? Is there a way to get the list?
Yes, I will. I'll send it to you so you can put it in the show notes.
Okay, that would be
also,
great.
is like mono red, like is that the version you guys would play if there was a tournament tomorrow?
Like if I wasn't able to borrow cards, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a ton. I've been playing quite a bunch of like just kind of out there builds just to see if something feels good or bad. And like this one, I played a ton, but honestly, I've just been losing tons recently, so I'm feeling a bit lost. So, I mean, like a bunch of
you kind of missed the control
3 leagues. So I'm feeling a little bit lost at the moment, but I'm probably just like playing fast and autopiloting just because I want to get games in to get back up to scratch and stuff. So the list is really strong. It's a very classic red list and stuff. But every time I try Soul Cauldron again, but like without the Devourer like he has, it feels pretty good. It's just a good grindy thing. It like kind of, you can make your welder a 2/2 so it doesn't get bowmastered. You just have access to more welders in the late game and stuff. It's a very good grindy card, really.
But I hate Devourer so much, having that in my deck. Like when I see it in my opening hand, I'm like, guys, I hate this card so much. Like sometimes even hard casted and I use the ability for value and it feels so bad.
Well, that's why he's cut it. He just said like Soul Cauldron, you don't need that second combo. It's just a good grindy card, and it's great.
Soul Cauldron is really good. The only thing is, like, I only realized, and it's actually embarrassing, at the last Eternal weekend is where I realized that Soul Cauldron is legendary. Like, I played a second one, and then, like, one of the viewers in the audience was like, and isn't that supposed to go to the graveyard? I'm like, why? It's like, it's legendary. I'm like, what?
Well, I found that out by playing a second on Magic Online as well, so we all learn that way. Yeah.
Also took me forever to realize Vendilion Click is legendary. Like, when that wasn't standard, I tried to qualify for the Charmin Nationals. Like, I was 4-0 in the National Qualifier, and then I dropped to play the Legacy side event and went 2-3 and won a Grandmother Sengia, which probably is, like, worth money now. I don't know. But anyway, I like, we played in Paso even. Like, we prepared so much, and we played all the standard decks, and I was playing fairies. And only at that tournament did I realize that Vendilion Click is legendary, which didn't make sense to me. It's just like a bunch of, like, you know, three
elves.
Three fairies. How can like a group of creatures be legendary? Like a single creature to me was legendary, but not a group of creatures cannot be legendary.
It's one of the least legendary feeling legendaries, I think.
Yeah, it's like a band, kind of.
Yeah.
A legendary band.
Dude, I wonder, like, how long do you think until we get like music crossovers in Universes Beyond?
Oh, like Metallica, Tarmogoyf?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Your color was just throwing up inside.
I'm rolling over in my grave and I'm not even dead yet.
Dude, can you imagine how many more people would get into Swift if they printed like Taylor Swift Planeswalker?
Oh my goodness, dude.
You know what? Taylor Swift like Secret Lair would probably sell better than a Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So many Magic players are obsessed with her. It's crazy.
Yeah.
More than the Metallica? I don't know.
Yeah. Very much so. Okay. Honestly, like we are getting ever closer to From the Vault, Kim Kardashian or something.
I mean, maybe like James Hetfield from Metallica can flip then on into Taylor Swift or so. If it's like a Delver or something, you know.
Oh, he flips into like his old teenage self when he played better music.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Cool. So yeah, music.
We're gonna get him on the next podcast to, you know, face the allegations of being a bad musician.
We should totally work for Wizards of the Coast. I think we got like the best ideas on this cast.
Yeah, it's the next level for Wizards. They need to hire us.
I think Lars Ulrich can be an ornithopter because he doesn't do anything. Anyway.
Oh, dude.
So congratulations to Richard Pham, who was playing in Nadu, mid-range Nadu, who took down the event. He played against Blueberry Animator in the finals, I know. So that's cool. I always feel like Nadu just does very well at paper events a little bit more than online. I don't know if it's really... I don't really pinpoint a symptom really here. It's like maybe it's a bit of a pain to do online, but it's not that bad. But I feel like I see it pop up more and win tournaments in paper. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. There's definitely... more, I don't know. I think it's probably like part of like the laziness is like part of the reason. Like in because you have to do a few more clicks. It's not as bad as like Alluran or I don't know, Food Chain, right?
It's really fast online. Honestly, it's not that bad. But I don't know. It's I feel like it could be a bit of like, it's a deck that's still very interactive. It plays to like it wants to go to turn 6 or 7. Like you're playing real proper Magic and interaction stuff. Whereas online, it's like, it's not the best deck, so why would I spend this time doing this? And do the online grinders actually want to play Nadu is the thing? It's like...
Maybe a lot of players have a banned mana base, like a banned like dual land mana base already, and there's just no good like banned control deck right now. I mean, there's beans, but like control decks are not as popular right now, so if you want to run your Trops and Tundras, then...
Yeah, true.
There's just not
whenever
many...
I play Nadu, it's been really fun to play as well. Honestly, it's just
dude,
make those decisions.
that new guy, like Voice of Victory. Oh my goodness, dude! Like that guy is such a fucker.
I love how when we went through the previewing cards, I just snapped off this card's completely unplayable in Legacy. Don't even bother, and it's turning out to be pretty good.
It's so unbelievably good. It's so hard to counter too.
That's the thing. It's like, so what I didn't wake up to, some people have been saying like, oh, you could even play it in like Cephalid Breakfast because it's easier to cast than Grand Abolisher. And you can't like blast it like a Teferi. So it's just stops all things there and stuff. I don't know.
Right. And you still have to respect it, right? Like if you have a removal spell, you gotta have real balls to let this guy stay on the battlefield and hope for something better.
It's right? Totally reasonable to play a slower game as a combo deck, and then you play that, and then you drop your 2 threats, because this Nudge deck can just like make land drops and stuff. Or like in Cephalid Breakfast, you like on turn 3 or turn 4, sorry, you can play the Cephalid and the Voice of Victory. We play the Voice of Victory first, and you get a Shuko off a Saga that's popped off or something. Like you then can't play a removal spell on it because it's in play, and you had to have countered it, and that's it. And then I don't know. It requires a lot of interaction at the right point as well. Otherwise, you just die. So, also if you attack, and then you can like target all the creature tokens as well with Nadu, could be quite cool.
That's cool. Like the good news is that even if Voice of Victory becomes like too powerful or whatever, like there are plenty of removal spells that you can just let sit and play, right? Like a what's it called? Like a Seal of Removal, right? Or any like spell bomb-ish things, like Ether spell bomb or whatever.
Those things are just going to be pretty bad against Nadu though.
Yeah, I guess, but like I'm just saying, right? Because like like normal removal doesn't work against Voice of Victory. There are always like ways around it, I think. Yeah.
I will note that I don't actually know if this list had Voice of Victory in. We've just started talking about it, but I have seen it in some Nadu lists. And I think it's good. So it'd be interesting. I'll see if we can find the list. But yeah, as far as I know, they're not out there at the moment. This is just from Max kind of like scouting around while they were playing and stuff. So
cool.
It's cool to have these people on the ground. So should we move on to? We'll do a quick recap of we did a Impact Returns golden ticket giveaway.
Yeah, we did. So Impact Returns coming up next month, last weekend of July, in beautiful Naron, Galicia, northwest of Spain. And we figured, why not pay the entry for one of you guys for basically all the scheduled tournaments? Like any scheduled tournament that you want to play in, it's on us. And by that, I mean on Impact Returns, because you got sponsored a golden ticket. We're not that rich, okay? But we have friends, and I guess that helps. So shout outs to Impact Returns for providing the golden ticket for this. And yeah, we ran a Magic Online tournament, and in the finals, we had Raul Vallejo. Oh god, I'm trying to reclaim my Spanish. Raul Vallejo. Take down the tournament playing, I think it was Moonstompy, right?
Yep, it was.
Yeah,
beating
congrats.
Richie. He beat Richie on I guess it was the what's it called again? That really good artifact equipment that
Corey Steelcutter.
Corey Steelcutter, blue-red Corey Steelcutter. Yeah. But I felt like it wasn't really much of a match, right? He basically locked him out like crazy.
It was quick blood moons in a lot of the rounds. Yeah.
Quick blood moons, shadows on 1, shadows on. Well, I guess this one is on 2. Yeah, it makes sense. Richie's sitting there with a basic island, and he's up against Magus of the Moon, shadows on 1, and shadows on 2. It's like, good luck.
Yeah.
Make your Delver deck work. Shout outs to Raul, who's going to be playing the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for free. Like, the more you lose, the more you win, I guess, because
you get to play more things.
That's how it works, right? So honestly, we should have actually given the ticket like as a surprise to the last place finisher in the tournament. That should have been it, right? That would have been like the turnarounds. Like, hey. Anyway, in the Tour de France, there's actually like a competition to get last place.
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah.
What do you get?
The red lantern, literally. Like people really want to get last place, because like second to last, that's boring, right? But if you can get last place, you try to go as slowly as possible while still staying in the time limit. Because there's like this time limit, you can only go like, I want to say like 105% of the winner or something of the time.
That's like a different skill set.
Like every year it's an actual competition. Yeah. Anyway. Would be kind of hard to make that work in Legacy. or Magic as a whole. So Raul, thank you so much, and good luck at Impact Returns. Really looking forward to seeing you or commentating you maybe in the playoffs or the finals. We will see. So I guess, guys, before we close it out, there was another big tournament. Dude, there's so many legacy tournaments, especially in the summer, happening right now. But this one was on Magic Online for a change. And that one was the RCQ. It had 130 players. And drumroll. Is it this button? Let me try.
Yes!
Did you hear it?
20th time lucky.
Yeah. Anyway, it was Mac Winsauce on Blue-Black Reanimator. That's the most generic combination of players and decks you could pick to win a big Magic Online tournament, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to Tom. He's one of the most biggest crushers online and stuff. So
I have no idea what he won, but I guess he gets to go to the RCQ. I'm not even going to try to pretend I know how these things work anymore. Eventually you get to the Pro Tour, right?
Yes, yeah. Regional Championship qualifier. So the regional championship is like they do X number of them per year based on how many people are in the region. I think like Europe has 2.
So what is the Magic
year?
Online region?
Well, there isn't, but this qualifies for an in-person one.
Yeah, I figured.
Like America has a bunch that SCG do now. So it's like getting to the RCs, like you do have to win a tournament. Usually the joke is online, it's like 130 players and you're playing against all these good players, but in paper you'll get like 20-person RCQs and stuff. So it's
I've read about that, like, or even like eight person and like only one person wants to go. So they're like, okay, you win this tournament on paper and then we play the real tournament. And that's
so it's like do that or play against McWinsource and Tony Scaponi and Canakins and stuff. It's like it's a bit different, but it's just an opportunity to play a big tournament online as well.
Yeah. Is there anything that sticks out to you? Because I see a lot of Blue-Black Reanimator in there. I see actually 3 copies of Lands, second most successful deck in there.
Yeah.
And then Blood Moon, Mystic Forge, Storm, which is the what's it called again?
Second is Black Saga Storm from Tony Scaponi, which we were saying earlier. Like, I just think it always looks pretty impressive, so that's cool. Shout out to one of the Lands players is Sprouts, who like is just crushing challenges so much with lands recently. So if you're looking to play lands, this build is, I haven't actually looked at the list, but the one he usually plays is mono green. It's really like a combo deck. It's a fast stage depth combo deck. It's playing Malevolent Rumbles and stuff like that to just find cards faster and stuff. So it's not like the old control decks, which would like use Punishing Fire. Sometimes they'll splash white for Source of Clashes. This is, again, just trying to combo and stuff, which is, I think, just working very well. I wonder if the other lands decks are like that. It's like, yeah, for Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth is like, it's a big statement to that.
I feel like Punishing Fire is just such an embarrassing Magic card. It has been for quite a while.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, all these lists are exactly the same. So I'm pretty certain this one came from Sprouts originally. So a lot of people picking up and doing well. That's cool.
I just always love when they have like the one of Ancient Tomb in the sideboard or even in the main deck because you know it's there to crop rotation for a sphere or something.
Yeah, so Disruptive Fruits these days. But
Disruptive Fruit, yeah, I guess that's the idea. Yeah.
One of my favorite little pieces of tech is a Twin Shot Sniper in the sideboard is to kill Magus of the Moon.
Ooh, that is so cute.
Yeah.
Is there no other option?
So people always suggested like Pirate Spell Bomb, but like it kills also a Collect Roof if you want, so you might as well just use this. I think it's better. So that's cool. Yeah, lands looks good actually. It's cool. Then we've got like a Mystic Forge deck. We got it's 6 copies of Blue-Black Reanimator in the top 16, which is quite a few. So yeah, congrats to McWinsource though. Shall we use that to segue into, we have a ban announcement coming next week. So
we already know which cards are going to get banned.
Maybe. We can take guesses.
No, I guess we should have actually said that at the beginning of the episode to retain the listeners, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's how it works?
So we know that these 3 cards are getting banned.
We know, but we won't tell you. This is like, the primary school way to do things.
God. Yeah.
I can't believe I believed that shit, man.
Oh, God. But,
so Callum, take us away. Which cards are getting banned?
Well, I'm not going to tell you until next Monday, but then I'll tell you.
Kai, take a guess.
My guess is that they're probably focusing too much on standard bans and not enough on other formats, unfortunately. That's my honest guess. Like, I don't want this to
I want
happen,
your dishonest guess.
But this honest guess is that ban Underground Sea. I don't know, dude.
Deep.
Like it's so bad because like Underground Sea is like my favorite dual land, but like if you see so many of them, it just stops being special. You know what I mean?
Snowflake.
I always like it more when Underground Sea is good than when Volcanic Island is good. I don't know why.
Is that so?
Volcanic Island is always just like some kind of boring, stupid combo deck, and I don't know, man.
That's just Delver.
It's just Delver. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, isn't that just like
to me, it's
Pyroblast,
just
bolts
like,
and stuff?
Yeah, to me, it's still like, I don't know, show and tell.
Like, dude, black is dangerous, right? Like, black spells are.
Oh, and here we get cancelled.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, black is the combo color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
I think you see is much cooler. Yeah. Julian, what's your dishonest guess?
My dishonest guess is that we should actually like. I wonder. I don't know where I read this, but I heard that the ban announcement afterwards is going to be right before Eternal Weekend. Like,
yeah.
So if they were to ban something, it would be right in front of Eternal Weekend, and that would be like awkward, but also it could be kind of cool.
I think that's awesome and really fun. But
I do like that. Yeah, I do like that a lot. Yeah. I also really liked it, like when they had Pro Tours right at the beginning of the format, so everybody had to figure out what's going on.
It's just more exciting to participate in and watch and be involved in. Like, I love changing games and stuff. So again, for me, playing Warhammer, where things change every 3 months, like on a huge scale, and now being stuck with Blue Bat Reanimator for 2 years, it's a bit hard to stomach. Yeah, I wish things changed faster and they just like tried things out and messed around and stuff. But the cards are so expensive that I get if that's part of the reasoning. I don't know. But should it be is another discussion.
I mean, I feel like we're at a point where there's really like no beating around the bush anymore, where it's basically you have to, if you do something, you probably end up touching some of the core elements of a Reanimator deck, which would be like Reanimate and Entomb.
Yeah, I think so as well. I if they do touch that, I've seen a lot of people say comments about like, oh god, they tried. Obviously, they should have just gone for Reanimate and Entomb first. It's not obvious at all. It wasn't for me anyway. I felt like, you know, Grief was a pretty obvious needs to be banned, and then Psychic Frog was like a whole thing too late. They should have been banned earlier. But I really liked trying banning Troll, because Troll did push the tempo aspects of the deck to really powerful, and it did make things like Very Macabre and Surgical not very good. Not that they're amazing still, but I thought it was a good direction to try. So they're trying to retain these classic cards in the format. And so if they now banned Reanimate or Entomb and said, look, we tried, I think that's totally legit, and I like the direction they've tried so far. If they could have just been a bit faster. So it does feel like they might have reached a point where they're like, well, we tried, but, you know, it does look like it's probably going to be Entomb more than Reanimate if one is touched. But I also agree with Kai, it could be just standard things and then something comes just before Eternal Weekend as well. So I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah, me neither, honestly.
No, but I will not be surprised if Entomb or Reanimate is banned, along with potentially both Oops cards as well, Uncity Informer and Spy. I think the deck is not healthy for the format at all. Like, people are saying the numbers are not high enough played or win rates and stuff, but it's just a really bad play experience for a huge majority of the format players and stuff. So
and I want to say, like, especially in internal formats, having a bad play experience here and there is kind of part of the deal. It's just when it takes over and it becomes like too much of a thing. Like, and I already feel like the play experience, and I mean that's me talking from like as a player who's been around for so long, and like people have other experiences they started later. I feel like the play experience Legacy has been constantly robbed in a way that's not that great, and it's like then we do some takebacks and like it gets a little bit better again, but then it robs like really hard again into a certain direction. And I think that's just like the overall nature of eternal formats, where, you know, power creep, yada yada. I mean, you get the idea, right? Stuff that was like look at Snapcaster Mage, one of the premier cards of the format. It's laughable now, and it has been for like 10 years almost. Maybe not 10 years, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe that's just like the overall nature of these kinds of formats, and the only way that like Vintage is able to sustain that is that Vintage has like completely broken like protection, and everybody's aware that they need to do that.
It's just completely different rules of engagement. Like, I would complain about Microspawn, and Vintage players would be like, how can you complain about Microspawn? You just like, it's just a land, and it's like, yeah, but you have Moxen. It's a different world. Like Legacy is about you use your lands, you play lands, you have your land drops, and that is the pace of the game. Like there is obviously fast mana and stuff, but like it comes at a cost of a card, and counter magic being there to stop these faster combos is a real thing. So if it's getting faster, you can't play these 3-drops, which is like where a lot of the kind of interesting decisions come into the game and things. So I fully agree with you, Julian, where like winning on turn 1 is part of the format, and it's like a kind of novelty, and it's like sometimes you just have a really busted hand. It's like, oh my god, haha, I did it. You're 1 in 10 games at most, probably less. You do the turn 1 thing, but Oops is just a bit too consistent with. I mean, it's just got all the discard and the removal for hate and stuff, and it's so fast. It's too consistent for a deck that does that thing turn 1 too much. So, I think it's just too unfun for me. So, yeah, that's where I stand on it. But again, I feel like I'm kind of like 40% expecting nothing. 60% expecting nothing. 40% either Entomb or Reanimate, and the 2 Oops cards is my feeling.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't hate that. I would actually welcome that with open arms.
I would too.
Yeah,
I think at this point.
I have something else to say about Kylum. Let us hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I honestly don't have big thoughts. I don't know.
Like generally about life in the universe.
No, I was just like so focused on ad nauseum tendrils that I really didn't have a lot of time thinking about the other decks too much.
So right now, if you had to guess, do you like think they're gonna touch something, or do you think it's not gonna be?
Yeah, as I said, I think they're focused too much on standard.
Okay, actually,
because like, so we got a lot more Magic players, like new ones, right? Like who started the game because of Final Fantasy, and then they want to try out this card game, which in standard, like you kill people on turn 3, for example. That's a terrible game experience in standard, I think.
Like just through beatdown, like no combo, just straight up beatdown.
Oh, like it's that mono red deck is insanely fast.
Let me guess, like haste and prowess is involved.
Exactly, yeah.
Really?
And, yeah. And like
with monstrous rage.
Yeah, and then you threw your creatures at your opponents, and like you do like so much damage so quickly that I think like it's almost worse than Legacy right now. Because like standard, like in standard you don't have like force wills and counters, right? Like shit just happens. And yeah, I don't know. Like imagine if you're new to this game and you're so excited about like Final Fantasy and all of that, and then you look at standard and like it's mono red everywhere. That I think is a problem. Like in Legacy, it has its problems too, but like at least you have cards to kind of like police the format a little bit. Like we were talking about Force of Will earlier and how important that card is. And combo decks can still like whiff and fizzle, and there's I don't know. I feel like the answers, like the spells and wastelands and all these things in Legacy we have, kind of make it so that even though there is a best deck, you can always win a tournament with something else, right? And in standard or in modern, like you can't do that, and so I feel very sorry for these formats. Yeah, right now.
I always wonder what's it like if you work for Wizards and like it's your day job and you do it for like weeks or months on end to work on like the new standard, and then
I don't want to do
that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's such a big task, dude. Like thinking about like set releases. I kind of want to like see what's going on in Wizards of the Coast for like a day or two, just to get like a grasp of like how much of a task it is to print new cards or think about new cards that are hopefully not gonna warp too many formats at the same time, but make it a competitive, fun, all of that, right? And there are casual formats too in Magic, so it's a lot at the same time.
Yeah. I wonder, like, how much of priority for them it even is. Like, I generally, I don't know how much of a priority, like, good standard gameplay is for Wizards these days. At least, honestly, like, I also don't care. Like, I guess it's a Legacy podcast after all. Like, we're not here to fix standard, but yeah. I'm curious.
I'm just letting you guys know that, like, standard is a little bit in trouble. And, yeah, there've been, like, more bans in standard too, right? Like, it
always has been.
Yeah.
Honestly. So yeah, we'll see. I'm curious.
Yeah, but I'm very curious about Monday. Not putting too many hopes this time, because like if you have too many hopes, and you kind of get like disappointed every time. But let's see. Let's see.
I've seen tons of like talking about bands, like articles and people talking about it, but there's been less excitement for this one than the last ones, I think, because I think people it's the fatigue. There's just so much to kind of quote unquote fix in Legacy potentially. It's like this one, don't even have any idea what might happen really. It's just so unknown, so there's less to be excited about. Before it was like, do they hit one of the pillars or do they hit troll or whatever? So like, what's it going to be? Now it's like, who knows? I don't know.
You know, this is like when you're in a toxic relationship and your partner tells you, no, I promise this time I'm actually gonna get better. Like I'm gonna make it right. Like,
but they're not even
the
promising
third, fourth, fifth time it happens. It's just like, yeah, whatever, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you know what I recently thought, because I have these streams with Kevin, right? With my friend Kevin, we stream like once a month, and we usually like we stream something that Kevin thinks is cool, that he wants to try, that he saw somewhere, and like that's supposed to be competitive, but like it doesn't need to be crazy competitive. So the other week we streamed Allurin, which was kind of cool, right? Because Allurin is the kind of deck that has been around ever since Legacy, or even longer, like Magic, or I guess Tempest has been around. Okay, I guess that's the best way to put it. But Allurin has never really done something in Legacy, right? It's been around, and people played like Imperial Recruiter and stuff, and like it was always like this deck that was like people called tier 2, but it wasn't really, and now it's certainly not tier 2 anymore. And we played it, and I realized, yeah, we get to hang, right? We had discard, I believe, if I remember correctly. We had like, I think we had forces and stuff. Like we had legacy cards, but then we got to a point where like we traded off some resources, and then typically these decks like Allurin, Food Chain, even Elves, they would just like grind out so many wins by then just like having a bunch of like nerds, like random creatures, like 1/1s, 2/1s, and they would just like attack and get there, and then like you would barely push across the finish line. And really that kind of like mid-range thingy where you neutralize each other and then you win through just like random small value, that's really not a thing anymore. And I noticed that so much when we played Allurin, because like the exact scenario happened, right? Where we neutralized each other early on, and then we played like our small value creatures, which is like not as much value as Death and Taxes, but also they had combo potential. But it's just like it felt like playing a different format. And I feel like that's the one thing that a lot of people are missing from Legacy. And the big thing that's keeping that in check is, yeah, first of all, like these big mana thingies that are really good, like Microspawn and stuff, but also combo. And combo is supposed to be part of Legacy, and I might sound like a broken record, but for a long time, I think combo has just been too good in Legacy. And I don't know how we would really like, or if we are ever gonna undo that or weaken combo in some way, but it's just, I don't know. I want less combo in my well, I was gonna call it creature format. Is it though? That's just me, though.
It used to be, didn't it?
Okay, yeah, let's get that Underground Sea out of here.
Combo is fine. It's just like I want combo to be like a turn 4 thing or turn 3 thing.
We need more savannas.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where I am right now. That really, like, when I thought about the league we played with Allurin, it really felt like, yeah, you can't do that classical amazing thing where you like I said, right, neutralize resources early on and then reuse your potential. As I do that, I'm actually talking about a combo deck, I guess. And then you reuse you repurpose your combo resources into a different game plan. So that strategic switch, that's so cool, and I love that. And I feel like that's not so much of a thing anymore. It's more like, it's not two ships passing in the night, but strategically I think decks have gotten more narrow. And that's what makes the format a little bit more boring to me. Mm-hmm. So this is where I am right now.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, guys, you both of you are going to Eternal Mania?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When's that coming up?
I don't know.
Kai already booked his train to Eternal Mania, right?
Yeah. Sometime in the future.
August, second weekend of August.
Okay.
So
okay.
six weeks going.
That's actually pretty shortly after Impact returns then. Cool.
Right, it's 2 weeks after, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get some input from that, and then we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's my
you're playing,
next
right?
event.
Are you also going to do that thing where you bring your booth and you play?
I think so. Yeah. I have to confirm a couple of things, but like that was so smooth and nice. Like I want to repeat it as much as possible. Really. Like I feel like finally I can do like all the things I like to do at the same time. And
I remember like you used to pay for like having preferred seating, right? Or fixed seating.
Oh, is that so, dude?
I mean, that's how it worked at Wizard tournaments. But I mean, yeah, this is free for all. We do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Kai wants to sit next. Do you still have like the wheel that people can spin?
No, so like that part of the booth is gone now.
In the trash?
In my personal Berlin trash.
It's called an apartment.
Yeah. But like I have like my playmats and tokens all only with me, and I get to play. And also like it's so nice to be like part of the tournament too, because it's just like so much more engagement, knowing that I'm just one of those players, right? I'm sitting in the same room playing the same tournament, same format, all of that. So yeah,
cool. So yeah, guys, I guess we're gonna have 2 more episodes before that comes up. So yeah, we will see. Maybe we will see whether I'm gonna have time. But I think that's gonna be it for us today. Is there anything else we should still touch on?
Thanks for listening.
Ooh, dude, you got the best closeouts.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
You know what? Bye. See you next time. Wait, you guys don't want to say goodbye?
Really?
What the fuck
is that it?
Oh, we do it now?
Dude, you go. You do a better job. Come on, Kai. You close out the show tonight.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you want to support Everyday Eternal directly, then and do all the shit we talked about in the last couple of episodes. Have a good night, everyone, and see you. Ciao.
It was a perfect Linz quality kind of closeout. Thank you.
Ciao.